So, how have you been doing? Come to join? Come to hang out? This was the time that I took acid at the carnival. It didn't go as planned. It never does. So this is with the same friend that we told the first trip story. His first trip story together. What the fuck can I not talk right now for? My homie that took the 4 tabs for the first time that we just told the trip story, he's in this story as well. And that's why I thought I'd tell it right after. By the way, for people who have been waiting or know my channel, 2CT7 trip report is up right now on Patreon. It'll be up there for a while. Just had a funny thought. It's stupid if I say it out loud, it sounds stupid. Hey, like hard drugs, like a crack rock is a hard drug, but a pile of powder cocaine, that would be pretty soft. Okay, story. Okay, so this is maybe 3 days after that trip that happened with my homie. There's the carnivals in town. They call it Spring Fest. It's downtown, whereas our fair might be a little bigger, but it's kind of not in downtown. And so this one's right downtown. So there's a lot of like stuff going on with the fact that there's the schools are right there, and aquatic centers and lakes and amphitheater and downtown and shopping. It's kind of all there, and that's kind of when it actually kind of feels like a city event. Like you actually feel like you're at a city, like when I was a kid at least, like, because otherwise there wouldn't be a lot of people out. It's a small town, but this is when it actually felt exciting, kind of. You got to see all your friends and shit and all that. But as you get older, as you know, stuff starts to not be as cool. Like shit used to be big and exciting, and then you get bigger and just literally stuff is not as big or exciting. And so I was of the mindset that, you know, well, we got acid, so that might make it exciting, you know? This was only like a year and a half ago, no, like 2 years ago. This last year has gone by really fast for me, but I mean, I was not in a place where I could be taking psychedelics without having a panic attack, because I wasn't in a place where I could even smoke weed without having a panic attack at this point in my life. As you can see, I can now. I kind of like gave myself a round of exposure therapy, a lot of rounds on the distillate, so that I could like finally get over my fucking shit with the weed. It worked, so I could smoke again. I'm glad. It will help with remaining off of the harder stuff. Anyways, yeah, at that point I wasn't like this though. So I was not in this place where I could be taking a psychedelic, especially not in public, like. And so I had bars lined up. Like I had some Ativan, I believe, lorazepam that I was gonna buy. I was waiting on the dude that had the lorazepam, and me and my homie had gone and parked at the fair. We're just sitting there, and I'm just waiting. And I was like, "How long do you think it's gonna be?" The dude, and he's like, "Oh, bro, in like a half an hour, I could get you those bars." So I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, dude. Let's take the tabs. I'm gonna take the tabs, and then we'll go get the bars." I'm so ADHD. This song's distracting me because it's so beautiful. It's gonna trip me out. So we take them, and it was a stupid decision on my part, but not altogether out of character either. Because I mean, you gotta admit, some of the best trips, or most memorable trips, are the ones where shit goes to fuck so fast. Like when shit hits the fan and you're in public, or you're around an authority figure that like knows you well, and you're gonna get caught up, and this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. When the stakes are high, like that's like, I mean, that's gotta feel more like what, you know, Fear and Loathing. I mean, I don't think my stakes have ever been as high as the shit going on in Fear and Loathing. I don't know. I don't think I've ever. Well, no way. No, there's no way. No way. The only reason I was gonna say maybe is because that 2CT7, I had a lot of doses of it. But I wasn't carrying them around in a suitcase to conventions, cop conventions, and getting off topic. Okay, so we take them, we wait for the come up, obviously. And so we're walking around, we're just hanging out, and I notice how small it feels, kind of like, because I remember as a kid how much bigger and more exciting it was, and I'm walking around just like, you know, this is cool, I guess, and I didn't really see as many people as I knew, really, which was a relief for me, because up until like this year, I've not been able to go into my own town without running into so many people I knew, especially at the fairs and carnivals. And like many years ago, I would have been all kinds of fucked. But this time, finally, like I'm finally old enough out of high school that like I didn't know many people. And I've run into, out of all the people in the world, my best fucking friend, fucking Cody. Like, what are the chances of that? Because he was living in New York at this point, I believe, or somewhere. He came from California from rehab or something. No, he had already been living in New York. He must have been visiting. I don't know. He's gonna be pissed. I don't know. My brain cells are fried. I've lost them all. So we're walking around, and half an hour passes, and I realize that this guy's not gonna like get a hold of me. So I'm like, shit, I'm not gonna get the bars. Like, I'm gonna start tripping. And so I talked to my homie Cody, and like we're hanging out, and his older brother or like brother-in-law or some shit was talking. My homie's already tripping because he took the shit earlier, a little bit earlier. Johnny Backflip. The dude's a construction worker on big projects. Like, so he was talking about the size of this elevator shaft that he was working on. And the analogy he was using was a beer can. And so he was explaining, like, it was like fucking like, no, like, imagine, okay, he's like a normal elevator shaft, there's a beer can, and this one was like a 32 pack, dude. Like, do you see what I'm saying? And he's like, just imagine the beer can here, and then you put this beer, you put the 32, and he's just using the beer analogies to describe the elevator shaft. And I'm looking at my friend who's like he doesn't know what he's talking about because he's already tripping. So he's like, what the fuck is going on? We stop talking, they dip, and we start walking, you know, back into the rides and the arcade and everything. And that's when I start to realize, fuck, it's starting to hit me now, and we don't have any fucking benzos, and that's not good. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, you know, it's only 2 tabs. I've been here before. And for me, I mean, sometimes there has been psychedelics that have caused me less anxiety. Like, before I knew what it was, there were mind fucks, so to speak, and paranoia that I had that was worse on weed. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be weird, but I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be weird, but I'm gonna be fine. We start walking. Carnival is in a park downtown that is the grass for middle school that I went to. They're right off the edge of the carnival. The grass ends. There's a little baseball field, fucking cement, and then the middle school. There's one ride that was tucked back closer to the middle school than the rest of them. For me, it was really strange at that moment when I finally realized I was tripping, because it was at the same moment that we started to walk towards that ride. And that right behind that ride, I see my middle school. The energy of the fair's like starting to be behind me. It's this weird blast from the past. I hadn't been thinking about my middle school all fucking day. They were some of the most formative years in a person's life. And I wasn't thinking about deep fucking philosophical concepts of my development fucking while I'm at the carnival. But as I stepped back into that area, I'm like, oh shit, like I was walking back in time. And at the same time, the grass was starting to do that thing that it did on the 2CE. And if you want to check that out, there's something trip report. It looks like it's constantly growing, but it never gets up. Like an illusion. Kind of like when you look at one of those illusions online where it's spinning and you stare at the center of it for a long time, and then when it turns off, everything or one thing kind of is coming at you, moving at you, or moving away from you, depending on which way the shit was spinning. That's exactly what the grass was doing. So suddenly the sound of the carnival dies down even, and the whole mood changes, and I'm like, damn, like, what's going on? And we get back there. Out of all of the rides, it's the one that has the mirrors and glass reflections and shit that you walk through. I get up into the thing, and I'm I don't actually know which ones are glass and like mirrors or not, and it's actually starting to trip me out. It was funny in retrospect, maybe, was the dynamic with me and the lady that was running it, because I'm a 25, oh, at the time I must have been 23-year-old dude in a fucking carnival with my homie in a ride. Most people wouldn't be having as much fun as I was having that moment, because I was like, oh, ah, like fucking like I was like 7. And so the lady's laughing with me, and then I go, oh, and we're laughing back and forth, and then she'll stop, and then I'll stop laughing for a second, and then have a moment of clarity where like, oh shit, like that's not a normal behavior for my age to be doing in this ride at this moment right now. Because usually I'm quite self-conscious, like the fact that I was just laughing and enjoying myself when just a couple seconds ago I was paranoid. It was a refreshing switch, but at the same time I didn't feel comfortable by any means. I felt very like I can't even use a word to describe it, so I just make sound effects. We finally get up to the top of the thing after that strange dynamic with the lady who probably thought I was crazy, and we go to the mirrors that actually distort you, and at that moment, that was just a great fucking moment. The mirrors tripping, like just like laughing and thinking that you're looking. Yeah, I have to do sound effects right now. I'm so high, I can't even. So we get back down there. It's a slide, you gotta go down a slide, and at that point I'm feeling relatively normal as I go down. I mean, I'm tripping, there's visuals. We're walking around, and I'm just trying to look down and not make eye contact with. Okay. Found out that we could get our addies. So we got our addies. Addies, what? Be that. Lazzies. My lazzies. Larazzies. I went and picked up a couple bitches named Laura. Okay. When we get back, it's already getting darker, like it is right here, right now. One side of the street is kind of the foods and the gadgets, and the other side is the games and the rides. But when we get back, we go walk to the other side where the amphitheater is and all the foods and gadgets are. The foods and gadgets. I don't know why I say it, talk like this. Like a straight path that leads from one side of the park from the other. It's like it's the highway of the fucking park that meets right at the entrance to the amphitheater, where it has the name of the amphitheater. And if you turn around the other way going the straight, it goes straight, or it would be straight towards you. That just the T-bone intersection of fucking foot traffic. It's just like the center area, right in the center of the area. And so fucking whole tone scales, pretty cool. We're walking through there. I'm starting to get this feeling like a vibe of a jungle, cause like it feels like the grass is growing higher now on that same effect because it's getting darker, so my mind can feel more information. But now all the kind of other plants are having that effect, but with more character, and it's like a very jungly, like seeming situation. Jungle-leaves, I call this one Jungle-leaves. We were there, and right as we're walking through the under thing of the amphitheater, it's hard to explain. You're just walking straight down to where you walk the amphitheater and the lake and everything. And right as we get to the middle, homeboy Cody's coming from down the exact opposite. Fucking me right in the middle, boom. And now I'm tripping, and he's tripping. What are the chances that we're both on an individual path, that doesn't lead to that center spot? That's the point where our lines intersected. I was like, what the fuck, like, I think it was maybe now that I gave him this hat. I don't think it was before, because he was with his uncle before, or his friend, or his, I don't know who the fuck that was. Seriously, man. We go up to this knoll, and I'm super paranoid looking around, like, sober I wouldn't have been, slightly paranoid. But I think I gave him just a single tab, because I had to go look for my book. I was keeping them in the pages of the book. I often do. Gotta have a DOB somewhere in my fucking bookshelf. Yeah, so I know that as we got back to the carnival, it was starting to get dark, and the lights were starting to give the light show. There's starting to be tracers, and it's beautiful. I'm also more relaxed, and we're going around the rides. I don't usually go on rides because I get motion sickness to the max. So the upside down, twisty, twirly, spinny, winny, dimmy spirals. Too many spirals. Barrel rolls. Just walking with backflip, and I'm Johnny Backflip because the dude could do a backflip. I thought it was brilliant at the time, you know. We get to the Zipper. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the ride called the Zipper. I just told you I don't like rides that go upside down and around and spin ya and twirl ya and rape ya. It's just not something that's a pleasant experience for me. There's a point in my life where I would much rather fucking take fucking 8 grams of mushrooms than go on the zipper, dude. Okay? 8. That type of shit. See, I'm not scared of it. I'm not a zipper. I just don't want to go through the unpleasant experience of throwing up all over myself in a fucking upside down tin can in front of everyone in my hometown. And if I wanted to throw up, I could bend over and fucking make myself throw up. I could get drunk. That would be funner than the zipper. I knew he was gonna do that. Major 7th up to the 9th. So I didn't want to go on the zipper. Understandably, what the result would be. I would throw up. The groundwork for what happened right here is we got around to the zipper and he was gonna go on it and he asked if I want to go on it and I said no. I said why not? And I tried to tell him why, and I was tripping, so I didn't explain it very well. I just said I get sick. I get real sick. It's something to the effect of don't be a pussy. And I'm on some benzos, so I'm already have a little bit of the fuck it, like I'm fuck it, dude. Like I'll do something crazy right now. I'll fucking go to jail. Like I'd be willing to do something stupid on benzos all the time. I was like, bro, I'm not a fucking pussy. I'm not scared to go on it. He's like, then fucking go on it. Don't be like that. And he already knows he's trying to egg me on. And like, there's people around, and my pride is stronger at that moment from the benzos than the trip. Than me knowing that I have a nice jacket on that I like, that I don't want to throw up all over. The only thing I'd really consumed up until that point was the LSD, the lorazepam, and a snow cone. So it wasn't like there was so much I could puke on myself. And so I said, you know what? Okay, let's go, bro. He's like, if you throw up, you throw up. You know, like I don't think he thought I was really gonna throw up. So we get on the thing, and like he closed the thing. And I'm just like, in my mind, when the door locked, I was like, fuck, this is it. I signed on for this fucking bullshit. This is gonna fucking suck. Okay. What are you gonna do? It's like things started riding, things started going, and it's all these G-forces, and I'm just like, and like, I'm tripping. Like, so the G-forces probably felt even more annoying or trippy, but it wasn't like they were, this feels amazing, this changes my life. It wasn't like a profound experience by any means. It was just like a much more intensely unpleasant version of the zipper, which meant we go around a certain amount of times, it's flipping, like that thing flips while the other thing flips while I just couldn't hold it in anymore. We got around to the 3rd time, and I'm trying to throw up to the side, and he's like, oh dude, God, bro, are you alright? Bro, are you alright? I'm like, yeah, bro, fuck you. I fucking told you. I hear like oohs and ahs from out there to my left where the world is. And that all the people waiting in line. I'm like, oh shit, there's a crowd of people waiting. Like, we finally get off and like fucking take it off, like take my thing off, pulled it off, and I'm just like spitting and like kind of half laughing, and like he's like, bro, you alright? I'm like, yeah, bro, what the fuck did I tell you? And he's like, then you shouldn't have gone on. I was like, fuck you. You told me to, dude. You said I'm a pussy if I didn't. And that just like hit the parts of me that still give in to peer pressure. Sure enough, fucking some girl that I did not even get a look at, someone just said my name, like, Connor, are you alright? Yeah. Never got to see who it was. I think they were my age. Someone from high school. Yes, it was that noticeable that I'd thrown up to people on the ground. It must have been dripping. I must have fucked everyone on that ride, dude. They all probably knew exactly what flavor of smoothie I got. So that would have been my homie's like 2nd trip in a week, and it was my first one in a long time. But I know the benzos made it so much easier to hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, 2 hours even. How many benzos? Wasn't feeling as excited about being there as I had been earlier, because the benzos had kind of made me a little more tired, maybe started feeling some melancholy. The last thing that I did was I went to go see the amphitheater because there was a show playing, and they have a lip sync contest thing, and I know that my sister had done them before and my mom had done one before. It's just something fun, formative, and get dressed up or whatever. But wanted to see the amphitheater because of the scene in taking Woodstock or breaking Woodstock, there's a scene in there with the amphitheater, and it's when the dude's tripping, and it's finally when, like, this Woodstock, 'cause most of the movies leading up to the festival, it's during the festival when the dude takes the acid. Oh shit. It's when the dude was tripping and he was looking down over the crowd, the sea of people at the stage, and it like was this beautiful visual that almost made it look like a literal sea, and like that was the center of the universe basically. And I wanted to have that effect of feeling. I feel like I had like a micro version of that. I'm gonna just say that was the effect. I don't fucking remember, dude. I know that I wanted it to be. It was certainly closer than if I hadn't been tripping. Well, weird that I happened to run into my homie there. I was supposed to be somewhere else in the country. And then again, I ran into him at the center. I believe there was a third time, and that's when I realized that there was like a synchronicity. Maybe not. Maybe it's a small enough town that it's not unlikely that me and my homie that around nostalgically would run into each other more than 2 times. This music got depressing, dude. It's fucking Bill Evans. That's the issue, dude. I didn't used to actually smoke when I fucking told trip stories. Maybe I should take up crack cocaine. You know what I really want to do, though? Van Mariani. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or if that's even what it's called, but when you take the coca leaves and you put them in a wine, ground them up into a mulch and put them in some wine, and then you drink it. Alcohol plus cocaine equals coca-ethylene. So the coca-ethylene, on the other hand, is orally active. Hummingbird. In conclusion, we dug a tunnel to the moon. We didn't land on that motherfucker, we dug a tunnel to that motherfucker. Changed my mind. In conclusion, I think I just went home. That's why I'm not coming up with it. I think I just went home after the zebra. I think I was defeated. I think that maybe I didn't. Maybe my memory past the point of the amphitheater is gone. I think maybe it's because I took more of them, because I think I never just get a couple. It's always one more. It's always 10 more. I thought they were useful with tripping, but I mean, my trip wasn't much improved. I mean, it wasn't worth the hassle. Evil that is fucking benzodiazepines. So yeah, that concludes the trip story. I don't know, there's not really much to this one. If any of y'all want to make some extra money, hit me up. Make these CBD infused MCT oil things that I sell. This girl seems to be doing really well with them right now. You can pretty much use them on anything. Bath bombs, mix them in with anything. MCT oil, pure MCT oil, flavorless, made from coconuts, purely from coconuts. Good for a keto diet. I don't know if that's how you say it too. I mean, I've been using some of that MCT oil sometimes when I want some natural energy, and so with CBD I think it's a good combination. But I mean, it's just something that you can add to products to mark up the price of them to sell, because it has a high retail sale value at the moment. So you could undercut, the big guys, and people come to you real quick. As I pack more than enough in there. Like if I say I'm gonna put in 2 grams, there's definitely over 2 grams. Like it will be like frequently I'll be putting in like nearly an extra gram. Like yeah, like as I'm doing it right now, there's 2 grams, but I can do custom amounts as well. It's per 30 milliliters, or sometimes I'll have to do 4 grams in a 60 milliliter or 2 fluid ounce one. They're both relatively small glass containers. But yeah, just because I'm considering, all my fans, I'm considering all my viewers, if you want to hustle, then, hit me up about that CBD. I've successfully been slinging that to some viewers already, and I'll respond to emails quickly. I'll try to be as diligent as I can about that. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go practice some music. You have a baked ass time or something. Two squirrels just got married and living there, and that's their little squirrel house that they live in. And then when they grow up, they can't escape. And then our cats get to have a bunch of squirrel friends that they can either kill or befriend. And that's the purpose. We have live gladiator styles squirrel and cat fights. I just remembered it's the next day, but I wanted to add one little part that happened. So after it was dark and we were getting ready to leave, I ran into my ex's little sister, who was like 16 or 17 at the time or something. Me and my ex weren't together at this point. We had already broken up and there was some seriously huge drama between us. I happened to run into her younger sister and I see her face and there's these visuals and it's dark, so I can't really see her eyebrows. And I asked her, I said, what happened to your eyebrows? Because I was tripping, but nothing had happened to her eyebrows at all. So she probably thought I was going right up to her and trying to be a dick. But I wasn't. I was just trying to say something normal. What happened to your eyebrows? And then she just started chewing me out. Like, what the fuck, you piece of shit? And I was like, oh my god. Like, I got all scared all of a sudden for no reason. And just started walking away. That was a frightening moment. Felt like maybe a tribe of barbarians were gonna drop from the trees and beat my ass because I had made fun of this person's eyebrows, but it was an honest mistake. I don't know. But I just had to add that in.